Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial. This is Deepak and today I'm gonna show you the configuration of secure cell SSH in short in Cisco routers and switches, and we will use the Cisco packet tracer software for our simulation purposes. So let's get started. We need couple of routers and couple of switches and couple of end devices for our scenario. So just open your Cisco packet tracer software and just select this router icon, and you can select any one of them router series. I'm just going to using this 2811 series. Hold down the control key for multiple selection and just select this switch. I'm just going to selecting the 2950T series, and we need couple of end devices for accessing the secure cell. So for in my case I'm just using this PC. Our scenario is very clear. We will make SSH configuration within this router and this switch, and this PC will access this router and this switch. That means we will remotely access these devices through the secure cell, or in short SSH. So before accessing and before configuring anything in our scenario, we need to connect our all devices by using a medium. So in our medium we will use the cables, and this is the icon of the cable we will use. But before we are connecting our cables, we need to apply and add some interfaces in our router, because router does not have any kind of interface, as you can see. For in this scenario we are going to using the WIC1T series interface. Now just turn on your router by clicking on this button. This is the power button, don't forget. In this router also we will add the interface, that is the WIC1T. Just drag and drop and power on your router. And just go to the connections icon and select the serial interface, that is the serial DCE, and select this router with serial 0/0/0, and this also, and hold down the control key and select this copper straight through cable, and press the escape key. If you guys can't see the port labels, so you can enable from here by going to the menu and just go to the preferences, and make sure you just checked this checkbox, the always show port labels in logical workspace. So if you disable this port label, so as you can see the effect, just check the checkbox with always show port labels so you can get the port labels in your scenario. It is very handy and useful, so I'm just recommended you to make sure you already have checked this checkbox. Now let's open this router and just go to the CLI tab, and we will make a configuration within the CLI tab. Just press no, just enter the no command, because we are going to enter everything manually, and follow this command. And for the configuration of SSH we need to follow some steps. The first step is for give a local username and a password for this router. Suppose we are going to giving this username as an admin and the password is also an admin. And we need to change the hostname of this router by giving this command hostname router A, and as you can see the router name is changed with the router A, that is the host name of the router is router A. And now we need to give a router's domain name, so just give this command IP domain name and the name of your domain, suppose the test.local, and we need to give the version of the SSH. So just give this command IPSSH version 2, and after then we need to generate an RSA private and public key. So we need to give and command for generating RSA public and private keys. because of our secure shell using the RSA algorithm for encryption, and secure shell uses the encrypted text. It doesn't use the plain text as like telnet, so it is very safe and it's used widely whenever you are performing any operation on your device over the network or doing any kind of administrative task over the network. So whatever you will give any kind of command within your SSH CLI, so it will fully encrypted and nobody can see anything except the administrator who is using the SSH for that session. Now just give this command crypto key generate RSA, and it will ask the size of our private and public key of RSA. So I'm just going to giving the 1024, and you can give it 2048 also. Now it's generated the key. Now we need to go within the line configuration mode, so just give this command line VTY 0 to 15 as the default within the router, and restrict here the transportation method with the SSH only. By default it uses all the protocols, that means you can connect not only the SSH but also the telnet. So we need to specify within our terminal that we are going to using only the SSH for the remote operations and administration. So just give this command transport import SSH. That's it. And then after give this command login local. This command does and allows the local users for accessing the secure shell over the network by using their username and password. So just give this login local command and just hit down the enter key. Now exit from this mode, and now we need to enable our interfaces, that is the serial interface and the fast ethernet. So we are just going to select in the interface serial 0/0/0 and give the IP address. For this I am giving the 10.0.0.2, and I am going to using the discontiguous network here. You could use the simple network just like class C default 192.168 or .x.x, anything else like that. So it's not necessary to give the 10.0.0.2, so you could use any one of them. So just give the enter key and give the clock rate. Because of the concept of DC and DTE, we will cover it on the later videos about the clock rate. So just hit down the enter key and give this command no shutdown for enabling this port, and exit from this mode and select the fast ethernet 0/0. Just giving this command interface fast ethernet 0/0 and give the IP address 192.168.10.1 and the default class C subnet mask, that is the 255.255.255.0, and don't forget the give this command IP address before the giving the IP address. And now hit down the enter key and finally give the no shutdown command for enabling this port, and now exit from here and exit from here also. And for making changes just give this command copy running config to startup config. Now for accessing the telnet within this switch, we need to configure something within this switch. So just follow my commands. So just first we need to enable let's go to the configure terminal and go to the interface VLAN 1, yes, and give an IP address. The IP address that should be the management IP address. I am just going to giving the management IP address as 10.100 and the default subnet mask is 24, and enable this interface by using the no shutdown command and exit from here And as same the configuration of router, we need to give the configuration in switch. For the demonstration purpose, I am giving the username, the admin, and the password, also the admin. But don't use this admin username and admin password if you are using within the real iOS, because for security issues. So make sure you are giving your username and password as complex as you can. And now we need to give the host name for this switch. Suppose the host name of this switch is switch A and the domain name is you could give any kind of domain name here. For testing purpose, I am giving the testswitch.local domain. Now just hit down the enter key. So we will access this switch through this router, so we need to give a default gateway IP address so anyone can get access to the switch. So we need to give this command IP default gateway, and in this case our default gateway is 10.1. And now we need to generate the RSA public and private keys, and also we need to give the version of our SSH. So just give the SSH version 2, and now need to generate the crypto key, generate RSA, and it will ask the size of our private and public keys. So I'm just giving the 1024. You could give as you like. Now the next step, just go to the V2I 0 to 15. And just follow this command. Copy running config to startup config for saving our configuration in the NVRAM. And now we need to configure within this router. So just go to the CLI tab. We will configure just static routing here. Let's go to the enable config your terminal and just enable this serial interface by giving this command. And for this network we are going to using this 192.168.30.1, and then just give the no shutdown command. Now just exit from here and copy and just save your configuration by using the copy running config to the startup config, and just exit from here. Now we need to assign the IP addresses within our end devices. So here's our IP addresses 192.168.10.1. Okay, so we can't use the 10.1 because the IP address already in used within the network. As you remember, the default gateway of our IP address is 10.1, so we need to use another different IP address as just like 10.2, and for the default gateway we'll use the 10.1. Now come to the second PC. we need to assign an IP address which is different within the network. It should be the 10.3 and the default gateway is 10.1. For in this case we had used the 30 networks, so we are going to using the 30.2 IP address in this PC. So just check out first here. So we need to make sure. Let's make a connection with this router and this switch by using these PCs first. So just go to the command prompt and give the following command from here in your terminal: SSH-L. Make sure you are not giving the input -1 because it's not in 1. It's just a -L and the username of your SSH and the host where the SSH and the management IP address of your switch. And it asks me the password of the SSH, that is cadmin. And as you can see, I am just access the user exec mode within our switch, and this is the host name of our switch. If I give the enable key, so it prompts me the no password set within our switch. So we need to give the enable key or enable secret within our switch or router for accessing the enable mode or the user privilege mode. So let's make it. So just go to the router again, give the enable, just go to the configure terminal mode and give the enable secret or the enable password here. I'm giving the enable password for simple. Enable password admin, and just give the command for making changes within your configuration file. Same thing we need to do in this, because we would like to access this user privilege mode in our switches as well as within the router. So just give this command configure terminal and enable password admin. Now exit from this mode and exit from this mode also. Just save your configuration file within the npm by using this command. Okay, now let's check again. So it asked me the user privilege mode password. So we need to give the user privilege mode password, that is the admin. As you can see, now we just accessed the user privilege mode of our switch, and we can make changes within our switch by using the secure shell. For example, we are giving this command, so running config. As you can see, all the configuration file we can see within our command prompt because we already have accessed the SSH of the switch. Now how about if we would like to access the SSH from here? SSH-L admin and the password, and the host of the SSH, that is the 110.100. So as a result, we are getting the connection timeout because the local host is not responding. That means so it can't find the remote host whatever it's looking for. For that reason, we need to assign some IP protocol within our router or the static routing. So for this demonstration purposes, I'm using the static routing for accessing these networks. So and give the interface, and give the following command, that is the IP route 192.168.30.0 because the adjacent network is the 30.0 network and the default subnet mask is 255.0, and the next hop IP address that I guess is 10.2. Okay, we are getting some invalid response from the next hop IP address. Let's check what's the problem. Before tracking the problem, just exit from here and ping. Okay, so we did mistake in this router because this router cannot ping itself. So now let's check by using the running config command. So this is the mistake which we have done within the configuration of our router. So we need to give this 10.0.0.1 instead of 10.0.0.2. That's why this was happening. So just go to your serial interface again, configure terminal interface, serial 0 by 0 by 0, and give the IP address of now let's check with the ping. Now let's make a ping test. Okay, now just go to the configure terminal, that means the global configuration mode, and follow this command for making a static routing within our network scenario. My adjacent network is the 30.0 and their subnet mask is default class C subnet mask 10.0.0.2. Now exit from here and for making some changes within your router, give this command copy running config to startup config. Now just go to the second router and give this command here IP route. Adjacent network for this router is 10.0 and their subnet mask is by default class C subnet mask, and the next hop address is 10.1. Now exit from here and making some and save your configuration file. Now in this time, if I would like to access the SSH through this, so I should access these devices through this network. Let's check. Now as you can see, it asks the password. That means we have successfully accessed our the SSH from the remote location. And the password, the first attempt password is invalid because I gave the invalid password. Now as you can see, we have successfully accessed the switch A CLI session. Now we are going to giving this command. Now from here I'd like to shutting down the fast Ethernet 0x2 interface of our switch. So just go to the global configuration mode and give this command fast Ethernet and give this command shutdown. As you can see the effect, the green light turns the red of our switch. That means we successfully shut down the link of our switch. Now just re-enable it. Now exit from here, and we successfully exit out from the switch SSH session. Now we are going to access this router by using the SSH. So just like that, give the command, and in that case you could give 10.1 as well as the 192.168, and you could give this IP address or the 192.168.10.1 also. Both should be work. Get the password, enable, that's it. Okay, so if you would like to give this command, so we could, there is no harm. So we can see guys, we already have accessed the SSH of our router and their user exec mode and the privilege mode, and we could use the all modes of our router from the global configuration mode or everything else from here. So we have successfully made a connection between the routers, and we successfully accessed the SSH through the remote location. And this is all about the SSH configuration within the routers and switches. If you have still any kind of questions, so guys, you can write down below within the comment box. And thanks for watching this video guys, and guys, see you on the next video.